What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett from Rants. As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. We're on the road to 1,000, guys, and we hope you guys can help us get there. Alright, so Hogwarts Legacy designer comes under fire for alt-right YouTube channel. Alright, so I feel like this is a little bit misleading. Basically, this guy, I feel like the whole article, I feel like the whole controversy is a little bit misleading. Okay, this guy, this designer, he was just kind of hesitant about the Me Too movement. He was against cancel culture. He thought that, maybe SJW stuff had gone a little bit too far. And so he had a YouTube channel that spoke his opinions on that matter. Well, apparently that is far right now to have those opinions. And those are, and people like the person who made this article, the person who is trying to get them, that went to all this trouble of researching this and trying to get this guy fired because they disagree with J.K. Rowling, is they believe that these people shouldn't have any kind of public discourse at all. Like, they want them canceled completely and totally. They don't want them to work. They don't want them to be able to be in the public spectrum, in even working behind the scenes. They want you either to be in lockstep with them, or they want you to be gone. That's about as simple as a lot of these SJW losers on Twitter actually feel. I mean, that's really how they feel. And this is just another example of it. And what pisses me off about this is, look, most of us who watch, are even watching this right now, including myself, we're just ordinary people. We're just ordinary people. Most of us never run for office. Most of us are not actors and actresses. We're just ordinary people who are trying to survive, to feed our children, to feed ourselves, to keep a roof over our head, to keep food in our belly, those kind of things like that. Worrying about everyday lives. J.K. Rowling is a billionaire, if I'm not mistaken. Like, she's a billionaire. And she's really far left. And no matter what they want to tell you, she's about as far left as you can get. Kind of like a crazy, crazy far left. Not what you would even call liberal. Like, it's far beyond on that, what she is. And just because she went against one thing that a lot of people on the left agree with, does not make her Donald Trump, let's just put it that way, or anything related to that. But as far as what I was saying is she's a billionaire. She can espouse these things and she'll be okay. But these, and you know what? And if they want to attack her, she's a writer. She's put herself out there. That is, if you want to attack her, you don't like J.K. Rowling, that's fine. But what I have a problem with isn't that. What I have a problem is going after the everyday man. The person who makes the game. The person who sells the game. The person who buys the game. I have a problem with trying to cancel them. That's where I have my problem with all of this. And that's exactly what this article is trying to do. That's what this, they're wanting to tell you basically that if you are if you go out there and you buy this game, you're supporting a white supremacist. That's what they're wanting to tell you. But that's the furthest thing from the truth. You like Harry Potter. You want to, you want to go around in Hogwarts and, play some wizard, as a wizard. Like that's about as much as you want to do. You want to live out your childhood fantasy, when you were 8 years old and you're reading your first Harry Potter book. You want to be Harry Potter for a little bit, and there's nothing wrong with that. We do that all the time with, other games and other books and other series and other movies. That's perfectly fine and that's perfectly normal. But you aren't evil for wanting to buy Hogwarts Legacy because they tell you that a designer of it is, the equivalent of a white supremacist, which he's not. Or at least not from anything that I've read about it. In fact, let's go ahead and read what he is being accused of and for what reason he's being accused of it. An Avalanche Software, a lead designer for the Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment, Hogwarts Legacy, previously ran an alt-right YouTube channel. Liam Robertson of Did You Know Gaming posted screenshots of Troy Levitt's YouTube channel to Twitter. Some of the video titles shown include In Defense of John Lasseter, The Injustice of Social Justice, and In Praise of Cultural Appropriation. Robertson's Twitter thread also called attention to Lasseter, who is the former chief creative officer of Pixar Animation and Walt Disney Animation. In Levitt's In Defense of John Lasseter video, he discusses how Lasseter was personally nice to him when they worked together closely on the Cars 2 video game. Robertson tweeted, Lasseter took a leave of absence from his duties in 2017 over what was described in a letter to employees as unspecified missteps stemming from misconduct allegations. In 2018, John Lasseter later parted ways with Disney Pixar in the wake of his 6-month sabbatical. He characterizes the Me Too movement as a moral panic and downplays Lasseter's many sexual harassment allegations, essentially because he doesn't think any of them qualify as outright illegal, and he believes they were less severe than Harvey Weinstein's, Robertson added. In other videos, Levitt was also shown support for Gamergate, and it goes on about that. It goes on to state, the article goes on to state that he was very clear with his bosses about, his YouTube channel, and they had no problem with it. Of course, now that'll probably change because, of all the attention being drawn to it, and these people are really, for some reason, these employers are really scared of bad publicity from these not YouTube trolls, but Twitter trolls. It's ridiculous. Every single one of those issues is a debatable topic. They are not. Nothing that was spoken there is something that is what I would consider white supremacist related, or anything that's even close to it. I mean, I don't know this guy's personal views. I'm assuming he probably is more geared toward traditional values and more geared towards, I don't know, maybe even voted Republican. I don't know. I don't frankly care. But I don't believe his life should be ruined because of his political beliefs. I mean, I just don't believe that if it was the other way around. Like, I feel like, this guy makes games for a living. His opinion is his opinion. He's not running for office. I'm not voting for him. I have no reason to be scared of this guy. I have no reason to worry about him or worry about his opinions. There's no reason for that. I don't want this guy's life ruined just because someone's trying to go after a billionaire. I mean, come on, that's crazy. I mean, we're think about that for a second. You, whether you're on the left or the right, you can, and we saw a lot of this when Rush Limbaugh passed away. All the vile statements that was made towards him, from everything from celebrities to whatever. Um, to me, it's all in bad taste. But at least I can say, okay, you know what? I might think that what they say was in bad taste, but these are public figures, and if they want, they put themselves out there, so therefore, you know, pushback is fine. Pushback's fine. I don't like the name calling. I don't like the personal attacks that go on. I don't like that kind of stuff. I feel like a human being is a human being, and we should all treat each other as such. No matter our personal opinions on anything, that's my view of it. But I feel like at least you can say, well, uh, that was someone that was in the public eye. This guy's not in the public eye. This is just your everyday guy. And just trying to make a living, to put a roof over his head, to, I don't know, probably feed his children, to all these things. He doesn't deserve to be thrown under the bus because of something J.K. Rowling said. He doesn't deserve that. And for someone to try to ruin his life as a means of getting back at J.K. Rowling, a billionaire who has put herself out there, is despicable. It's really despicable because he has nothing. He didn't espouse any of her beliefs. You might disagree with his own beliefs, but you know what? Those are all debatable topics. Nothing about anything that he said there was so far out of the ordinary that we shouldn't that he should be canceled or fired or any of those things. Like, this is crazy. This is getting crazy, where you've got neighbor hating neighbor. You've got somebody like even Gina Carano, who points that out, getting fired from her position on The Mandalorian because she's just basically saying, stop hating. I mean, that's really what she was just trying to say, and everybody's like, well, you said, the word Jew, so therefore, I guess you deserve to be fired. I don't really quite understand. These are coming from the same people that want to call everybody the bad guys from World War II. Like, they call anybody and everybody something. Somebody could get their order wrong from Burger King, and they would call them that. Like, that is how that word is just thrown around. It's thrown around so much by the far left now that it's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Everyone's that. Like in their eyes, anyone but themselves is that. Like, that's how crazy that's got. The way I kind of feel towards that is it's disrespectful to all the people who suffered by what those people in World War II did. About what of course the Nazis did to minorities and to Jews and so forth. What they did, what the Nazis did, was despicable, disgusting. Some of the worst atrocities in human history. The person that your neighbor that is down the road that disagrees with you on, I don't know, small government, abortion, something along those lines, is not the equivalent of these genocidal maniacs. I mean, and if you think they are, you've got some serious issues that you need to work out. Got a lot of hate in your heart. Maybe you should look inward and not outward. Maybe try to get some of that hate out of your heart first before you try saving the world. That's the way I feel towards that. You might realize that you're the villain of your own story. Let's just put it that way. If you start believing things like that, you're the villain. You're the bad guy, not the other people that you're condemning. Like, that's just the way I personally look at it. So yeah, I'm really upset at CBR for even pushing this narrative. I feel like they're blanketing a lot of people that are normal people under this term, alt right. And I feel like, when you've got soccer moms and people who go to church and people who have, maybe believe in traditional values or something along those lines, and then you put them in the same category as, I don't know, Nazis or white supremacists or any of those kind of things like that, you put them in those categories, you're going to get to the point where people on the left and the right just can't come together for anything. And, what is that going to lead like? That's not going to lead to a world that any of us want to be a part of. I mean, where, one side thinks the other side is enemies. They're not. They're your neighbors. They're your friends. They're your loved ones. They're your family in some cases. They're your sons, your daughters, your parents, it just goes down the list. Your husbands and your wives in some ways. Like, I mean, it just is crazy that they're trying to point us in this direction and saying, this is the villains. No, they're not the villains. Nobody is the villain of this. It's just people that disagree with you. That's it. Like, stop trying to ruin their lives, CBR. Stop trying to say these vile things against just a common man. Like, just because if you hate J.K. Rowling's, then, attack J.K. Rowling's, but don't try to get this guy fired just because and blacklisted just because you don't like what J.K. Rowling said. Like, that's ridiculous. And that does kind of get me a little bit riled up a little bit because I just don't like this cancel culture. I think it's evil. It's very sinister. Anytime that you disagree with somebody and you don't want them to even have a point of view, you don't want anyone to hear their point of view. To me, looking on the outside, the outside looking in, I would say probably if you're that way, you're not very comfortable in your own beliefs. You don't think that you're coming from a very strong vantage point, so much so that you feel like you got to cancel theirs out and silence them. That's the way I kind of look at it. But anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think. Let me know if you're as pissed as what I am about this. Because I don't care what J.K. Rowling said. I don't want individuals that are not billionaires attacked just because they disagree with somebody else. There's too many casualties of just your everyday man when it comes to that. Trying to attack these people that are, like I said, billionaires. If you want to hurt, financially, someone that you disagree with that is a billionaire, you can maybe dent them a little bit when it comes to their pocketbooks and things along those lines by not buying their products and so forth along those lines. But this designer is just a guy that's just trying to make a living. Like, he's not a billionaire. You blacklist him, then he has nowhere else to go. He has nothing else to do. He doesn't have billions of dollars to fall back on like J.K. Rowling does. So, maybe next time that you try to go after him, after the smaller man to take down the big fish, you might need to think about those little things. But that's just my opinion on it, guys. Let me know what y'all think. And as always, thank y'all so much for watching.